In the Queen City in March, two teams meet with the aspirations to be king in the city of brotherly love in May. Two players, contenders for the sport's highest honor, with offensive arsenals around them that can rifle through even the strongest castle walls. In a season-long journey, there are a series of tests that must be passed to get to the college lacrosse throne. But for Cornell and Penn State, the next step toward the ultimate title means winning the crown. It's the number 2 Nittany Lions versus the number 5 Big Red. Now on Lax Sports Network.
White number 3, unnecessary roughness, 1 minute diving into the goal mouth. Hey, Red, let me report foul first. Red 10 push, 30-second foul. White's down for 1 minute for diving in the goal mouth. Red's down for 30 seconds for a push.
All right, so we get a push and a dive penalty. So O'Keefe will be serving for a minute. Cornell's got a guy in the box for 30 seconds. So we're 5 on 5 for 30 seconds. And then for the final 30 seconds of Mac O'Keefe's penalty, Cornell will go on the man up. Coach Tambroni pleading his case about how does he end up in the
if my
goal
guy
mouth?
got pushed. So, but they're calling him for the dive right there, and he had already started the dive before he got pushed. So that's why you have the penalty for the dive and the penalty for the push. If it had been his actual defender who pushed him before the dive, then it would be completely different. So, but Jeff Tambroni trying to plead his case, saying, "Whoa, my guy ended up in the crease. You call the push. How does that happen?" So you see that on the replay that Jeff Tambroni doesn't have the benefit of seeing out there.
So Cornell man down here for the first part of this possession. Or excuse me, 5 on 5, and now they go man up. So Cornell now a 30-second man up opportunity. Step down, shot, and the Big Red are on the board. It's Jonathan DONVILLE.
So the man-up goal by Jonathan DONVILLE. He had 3 goals and an assist. Their huge win over Penn State last week, and Telesco finds him. Look how much room he has to operate. He just gets to wind up. Tiptoes the fallen defender afterwards. And he now has a 20-game point streak.
DONVILLE, a guy in talking with Coach Pete Milliman, said he believes he's kind of overlooked nationally, but a very important player on this team, a captain, one of a few junior captains that have been part of this Big Red program. Coach Tambroni still pleading his case about that dive, as it was a man-up goal for the Big Red.
Well, and that's one of those things that as a coach, he's not talking about now. He's politicking for later on. He's politicking for that next call.
And it's the freshman who wins another face-off here for the Big Red, Petrakis.
Yeah, Petrakis has taken the last couple face-offs.
And that was such a difficult spot for Cornell last year. They struggled mightily at the face-off X. A lot of people believing if they could fix that, this would be a different team. They struggled there at the face-off X last week against Ohio State, but still found a way to win. So far today, right around 50-50.
But as you know, in the outdoor lacrosse game, face-offs oh so important. You cannot get deep into the NCAA tournament and struggle at the X and expect to win.
Licciardi on the run. Cornell ties it up. Matt Licciardi's first goal of the season.
So this I expect the game to be, just back and forth, some ebbs and flow. Licciardi just does a little shake and bake move and gets that left alley open. Just gets a little bit of a lane to shoot. He's able to beat Knese.
Arceri and Petrakis back at it. Senior versus freshman. And a good ground ball win. Therefore, the Big Red. Billy Coyle, the midfielder, the sophomore, playing a face-off wing and coming up with a big ground ball to get a face-off victory.
Those are big. As Cornell now 3 of 5 at the X.
If this Big Red team wins face-off battles, this offense just has even more possessions to operate. And another one goes, 3 straight for the Big Red. It's Connor Fletcher getting on the board.
The benefit of winning the face-off, you get those extra possessions, and now Cornell has scored 3 in a row. And Connor Fletcher, the 6'3", 230-pound senior, just comes barreling down, takes this down the left side, beats his defender. Nobody slides over to help. Gets the wide open look at the cage and gets the goal. Really liked Connor Fletcher's game. We did that game 2 weeks ago against Towson. I thought he played really, really well. Got the offense moving from up top.
Had just 19 points last year. His career best actually came back in his freshman season when he put up 32. And you think about Cornell, when you're winning 30–40% of your faceoffs, how much more efficient your offense has to be. If you then get to the 50–60% mark, like they are so far in this first quarter, this offense becomes even more dynamic because of their ability to work efficiently.
Yeah, and you're getting 6 to 8 possessions per game additionally than your opponent. And when you shoot as well as a team like Cornell does, that's absolutely huge.
This is DONVILLE. Back up top to Piatelli. Zone defense here for the Nittany Lions. Fletcher with the ground ball, pressured out, but he keeps it alive for Cornell, under 30 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Michael Long, the freshman. T feeds DONVILLE, left hand shot wide.
We mentioned Michael Long. I mean, this is a kid, he struggled in his first couple games, tried to get his footing in college lacrosse, and then Towson had a breakout game and never looked back.
Long's pass comes all the way back out top. Long range shot to score. Cornell catching fire. It's 4 in a row. Cooper Telesco.
You got a Cornell goal, scored by number 42, Cooper Telesco.
Cornell dominating the possessions, getting second chance opportunities from up top. And these Cornell shooters have been hitting from long range in the early going.
Penn State 2.
Telesco coming off a 3-point performance in that 1-goal win over Ohio State last week. Had a career-high 4 goals earlier this season against UAlbany. Guy who stepped into that first-line midfield unit and has been a really dynamic piece, now up to 9 goals on the season.
So we get a cover on Penn State, so that'll be Cornell ball once again.
So more pressure on this Nittany Lions defense here past the midway point of the opening quarter.
Arceri starting off just 2 of 7. That's a little bit of a surprise.
Jeff T working from that far wing. Feeds across. Another one goes. Everything coming up. Aces for Cornell. It's John Piatelli from Jeff T.
It's just an impressive run that Cornell is on right now. 5 goals in a row over the last 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And T with a crossfield pass. And look at that shot. There's little room for error on that shot by John Piatelli, who had 8 points last week.
And Penn State wants to talk things over. They call a timeout. They've seen enough from Cornell, who scored 5 unanswered after the Nittany Lions led 2-0. Everybody on offense that was a contributor essentially is back for this Penn State team. They've struggled mainly because they haven't been able to get the ball so far in this first quarter plus.
See J.J. Lombardi right there wearing 44 for Cornell. His brother Billy Lombardi wore 44 for Penn State. I had a chance to catch up with Billy earlier this week, and I said, who are you rooting for? And he goes, come on, man. He said, I played for Jeff Tambroni. 14 of those guys were my teammates on that team. He goes, I want my brother to do well, but I want Penn State to win. And then he took some flack from the Cornell parents who said, how dare you not root for your brother? And he said, that's my school, that's my coach.
I mean, you need bragging rights here, and you got to have bragging rights over your brother, whether you're playing in the game or not.
Exactly. Well, right now, JJ's got the bragging rights over his
All
brother
of them
Billy,
so
who is an
far.
excellent face-off specialist, by the way.
Step down shot, a little wide, coming out of that timeout. The
Billy
shot.
Lombardi back at his alma mater, the Condensed Institute, coaching there, coaching the face-off guys, and maybe using this as talking about Petrakis, saying this is how you win face-offs in a big game.
Jeff Teat working from X. Pretty feed, and the freshman Michael Long finishes. 9 straight goals for the Big Red.
Michael Long, we've talked about him. We are really big fans of this young man, 5'10", 180 pounds, out of New Jersey. And here's Teat coming out, goal line extended, dumps to a cutting Long, who's coming back door, who beats his defender. Look at this cut by Long. Beautiful cut, great catch and shoot by the freshman.
Long, a 5-star recruit coming out of New Jersey, played at Del Barton in high school. And we talked to Coach Milliman about him before we did the Towson game, and he's like, yeah, you know, he struggled a little bit in his first game against UAlbany. All he did after that was put up 4 goals against Towson in his second collegiate game, and then hang 7 points on High Point in his third collegiate game. So he figured it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, he was the Ivy Rookie of the Week. Last week he had 2 goals in their game against Ohio State. And that's the thing, his words were, that was a no-brainer recruit. We knew that we wanted that kid and we had to have him.
Cornell back to work on offense again. Cooper Telesco.
But you also see why, like with Michael Long playing the X, that allows Teat to do some different things on the offense and doesn't pigeonhole him in having to be that guy who generates from X. They can put him out on a wing, and now Teat is a double threat.
Teat dodging the wing. Bodies down his man. Still just under 30 seconds left on the shot clock. Telesco. Another methodical possession for this Big Red offense. Skip pass across. DONVILLE walks all the way in. Somehow stayed out.
Yeah, DONVILLE had a wide open look at the cage.
They get possession back again on the whistle.
So they give him a fresh 80 seconds.
Penn State just can't find a way to get the ball.
Yeah, Petrakis is 10 of 13 from the X so far.
Matt Licciardi, his older brother Joe, played for Penn, the Quakers, fellow Ivy League institution. Now Billy Coyle, sophomore out of Malvern, Pennsylvania, going to work at X. Extra pass. Another one. That go? It did.
That one was so hard it flew right back out of the cage.
And it's Lombardi, J.J. Lombardi, the sophomore out of Rochester, getting on the score sheet.
It is now 10 straight goals by Cornell. J.J. Lombardi, top 10 in the country in shooting percentage. Here you see 44. He's got a stick up. He's just waiting for a pass right there. And gets it and takes it over the shoulder.
Did go through the net.
Yeah, they're going to have to tape that up. It takes it right over the shoulder of the goaltender, Knies. J.J. Lombardi, not a big guy, only 5'7".
And this is eerily reminiscent to that Final Four game from last year where Yale led 10-2 on Penn State after the first quarter. This one took Cornell a little bit longer to get to 10, but similar scores. Penn State finally gets an offensive possession. The Nittany Lions team that at times has dealt themselves some pretty big holes. Happened against Yale when they squared off earlier this season, a loss for the Nittany Lions. On the run, Penn State finally ends the run. TJ Malone, the sophomore midfielder, getting the Lions back on the board.
Penn State needed that. TJ Malone, the sophomore. Take a look at this one again. Comes barreling down the alley. Lost his defenders. Defender comes over late and scores. And we asked Jeff Tambroni about this. If you watched the game last week in overtime, Malone passed the ball to Mac O'Keefe, and as he passed the ball, he stuck his arms up and said, "We just won this, baby," before the shot even went off. And we asked Coach Tambroni about that, and you know, he said, "I hope people weren't offended and thought that he was being a jerk." He said, "I like to think that is that we respect and trust each other," and he knew that Mac was going to come up with a big play. And I told him, I said, "Listen, me personally, I love it because that shows confidence in your teammate.
A lot of confidence.
You know you just set him up for something good, and he just connected for you."
Penn State's first goal since the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. But the narrative stays the same. Cornell another face-off win and another offensive possession.
So Cornell went a 10-0 scoring run in 16 minutes and 53 seconds.
Piatelli looking for more. Licciardi spins back. Coyle, a shot. Long there for the backup.
We're at Cornell right now. They're doing a great job of being patient, waiting for that right shot to come. They're not forcing anything.
There's Jeff Teets, first of the day. And he is even more dangerous when he can let the game come to him. And just showing you a goal and 2 assists so far. One of the best in the game.
Yeah, and he's going to be the #1 overall draft pick in the National Lacrosse League coming up. And this beautiful shot right there. What you need to do, keep your foot on the gas pedal, but be smart. Now, the point is for Cornell is you don't have to take those shots that may or may not be there. You can wait and get a better shot because you've got that luxury of having that 7-goal lead, and you've been playing really well at the face-off X. Petrakis 11 of 17 at the X in the first half.
And Petrakis is the man at the X for Cornell here to start, working against Jake Glatz. Gerard Arceri has not taken a lot of face-offs since the very beginning of the game for Penn State. An early shot kicked away, and a loose ball picked up by Penn State. Brett Funk able to go back and pick it up.
This is also on Penn State. If you're Jeff Tambroni at halftime, you're telling your team, don't panic. We've got a high-powered offense. A 7-goal deficit is not that much, and you can't score 7 goals all at once. You got to score them one at a time. Relax. Let the game come to you.
Jack Traynor was dancing all around with it, but gets it taken away, and Cornell able to settle things down for an offensive set. These teams coming into this game averaging 16 and 18 goals per game. So if you think this 12-5 type game is going to stay this way, it's not.
No, that's the one thing that Pete Milliman talked about. It's like, listen, they score 18 a game. They're going to come gunning for us.
DONVILLE on the receiving end of a pass from Michael Long, and Cornell strikes first in the second half.
That's what we talked about, not taking your foot off the gas pedal. You don't stop. You don't get out of your offensive rhythm because you have such a big lead, especially when you're playing a team like Penn State. You see Fletcher coming down the right side, gets it behind the Long. DONVILLE gets by his defender, nice backdoor cut. And Long having a nice day feeding the ball. And DONVILLE with a nice finish. Long now with 4 assists.
Freshman continues to impress. Once again, it's Glatz and Petrakis at the X. Another win by the Big Red. That has maybe been the biggest surprise of this game. Gerard Arceri is a good face-off man. for Penn State, and he struggled at the beginning. We have not seen much from him. This Cornell team against Justin Inacio of Ohio State last week that really struggled, and that's Inacio coming back from an injury, and we aren't sure exactly how close to 100% he is. So you would think against Penn State it would be a similar situation. Not the case today.
No, Petrakis has done everything right. The freshman from Massapequa out on the island, they're impressed with what they see from their alum today.
Billy Coyle, pass across, Licciardi lost it. TJ Cannellin with a big ground ball.
So now for Penn State, we talked about it's not panic time. It's not time to rush the offense. You know you can score a lot of goals. You know how much you average. You didn't have the possession a lot in the first half, but when you did have possessions, you were successful. You were able to get shots on Chase Erlin. Chase Erlin only made 3 saves on the 8 shots that he saw. So you were still scoring at a high percentage.
Jack Trainer flips it back for Amen. Eventually ends up at his stick. Grant going to work. Couple of assists in that first half, no goals. Working once again against Gavin Adler, and he's done a terrific job on Ament. Gets it away, but caused turnover here by Mac O'Keefe. Ament, no look, out top. Kelly finishes! Third assist of the day for Grant Ament. Jack Kelly, his second. Penn State answers back. And this is one of the other things that makes Mac O'Keefe so dangerous. He hasn't scored yet today, but causing the turnover to create an extra possession for Penn State.
Yeah, so you see here, Carey knocks the ball away from Amen, but Adler gets the ball knocked away.
Actually, it was
by TJ Malone. And then Jack Kelly winds up and fires and gets the goal off the feed from Amen.
Face-off win for Jake Glatz. Brian Townsend hands off for Kevin Hill, and the Nittany Lions a chance to get a second in a row here as the second midfield line comes on. Hill all the way through. Back-to-back goals for Penn State.
So Penn State, who struggled to get the ball, they've now scored 4 of the last 5, dating back to a minute and a half left to go in the first half. And here's Hill. It's getting chopped away. Doesn't really have much to go off of, but just has enough to get a shot off. And beats Erlin.
2 men, 2 fouls. You are correct. 2 men, 2 fouls each. Red 46/1 minute. Red 46 push, 30 seconds. Red 19/1 minute. Red 19 push, 30 seconds. Each man's down for a minute 30. Everything's releasable.
So
we're both down for a minute 30. Yes,
Dom
correct.
Doria and Joseph Bartolato both will be sitting in the box for Cornell for a minute and 30 seconds. So Penn State, 2 men up for a minute 30. All fouls are releasable, but each player getting 2 different penalties. So you got the 30-second plus a minute for each. So Penn State does have the ability to score a couple of goals here, man up.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting that Cornell got their money's worth on that possession.
Minute and a half, well worth it. O'Keefe, top of the box, saved by Erlin, and it trickles through. Just enough on it for Mac O'Keefe, his first of the day.
Penn State has now scored 5 of the last 6 in this game. They'll still have some more on the man up as they pull within 5. So Mac O'Keefe had 4 goals last week, including the game winner. In overtime, you see him wind up that low one, and Erlin made the save initially, but that shot was so hard and had so much velocity on it that it still trickled past.
That's when Erlin regretted not wearing the size 2XL sweatpants.
O'Keefe from Malone.
You need a little more material there to keep it out. And we've got a whistle on the faceoff. Penn State.
So hold on Penn State, so it'll be Cornell ball.
So the Big Red going to try to kill off the rest of these penalties. Yeah, we got too many men on the field there for Cornell, I believe.
Well, and they threw the ball away.
So here comes Penn State.
DONVILLE working in midfield there. Gets Nostrand.
Jack Kelly finding TJ Malone out of the box.
So now all penalties have expired,
Yeah,
so we're back to even
strength. Jack Trainer dances back and forth, moves it back to Malone, now O'Keefe. Slinging, Erlin saw it the whole way.
It's a good save by Erlin. Penn State scored 3 straight. So they get it to Teat to get it over.
Harrison Bardwell brings it over midfield and gets it to John Piatelli, who's got a couple of goals so far today. And the second midfield unit involving Matt Licciardi comes on for Cornell. Seen a lot of run out of Billy Coyle, guy who plays on the man up as well for the Big Red, number 11 in red. He gets it back to Licciardi. Dancing toward the middle. Gets knocked down, but moves it along. Big Red offense is being held to just 1 goal so far in this third quarter.
But they still have a 5-goal lead. That's the important thing.
Jeff Teat has his man hung up here, working against the long stick midfielder Tommy Wright. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Teat off, and either way it was going to be a shot clock violation, so Penn State holds on defense.
Teat trying to get something there at the last minute, backing his defender down, couldn't get it on goal.
Here comes Kevin Hill. Leading the way with 3 goals for the Nittany Lions today. Redshirt senior from Webster, New York. Redshirted last season, put up 32 points last year he played in 2018. Here's Amen. Hill moves it along. O'Keefe dodges, gets back to the left hand. Overhand shot goes. Another one for Mac O'Keefe. Penn State's back within 4.
We got a Penn State goal. Scorer number 3, Matt O'Keefe. His second of the afternoon.
To pull within 4, it's now 6 of 7. Watch O'Keefe. Wants to shoot there, doesn't have a shot. Wants to shoot there, doesn't have a shot. Then he steps back one more time. That is a veteran move right there. Continue to create space until you get the shot you want.
The uncharacteristic overhand finish for Mac O'Keefe. For all you low to high lovers, he went traditional on you and went overhand for the finish. Jake Glatt's face-off win forward for Penn State. Nittany Lions on a 6-1 run here from the end of the first half through this third quarter so far. Amen once again drawing the matchup of Gavin Adler. Amen beats his man, no look pass. Fakes on score, TJ Malone.
The Penn State goal, scorer number 7, TJ Malone. His third in the afternoon, giving assist number 1, Grant.
Well, we got ourselves a game.
TJ Malone kept faking until he made Erlen bite. Here's Amen working on Adler. It's been a great matchup in this second half. Here's Malone waiting for the goaltender to commit. As soon as he gets Erlen to commit, he takes it the opposite way. Watch, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's gonna give me the overhead. I'm gonna take it.
Timeout, Cornell. They can sense that Penn State is feeling it here in the third quarter. Big Red's lead is now down to 3.
The stuff going on, and whoever wins this game should get #1 in the country votes.
Maybe. Yeah. Syracuse was impressive against Hopkins yesterday.
Syracuse will still be #1, but
Penn State was my #1 team coming into this week. May think a little differently after what we've seen, but still time for this Nittany Lions offense to operate. Another face-off win for Glatz. And this is why Ament is considered one of the best in the country. Down by a bunch, trying to create something for this Nittany Lions offense and bring Penn State back. Malone floats it back. Nobody home there, but Trainer able to go back and retreat. Jack Trainer trying to stop on a dime, slip down. Back out top to Dylan Folds. Amen. Feeding. Another finish. It's Malone, his 4th. Penn State is within 2.
this is why when you're down a bunch, you don't panic. 6 straight goals for the Nittany Lions. TJ Malone. Amen to Malone, and Malone does it on his own. Weaves his way through 3 defenders.
Ament doesn't get the assist on that one in the score sheet, but he saw that cut the entire way. You see him orchestrating things for Max, saw it the entire way. I'd give him an assist in my book. And
yeah, if this is the home team scorer, that would definitely be an assist.
Tommy Wright with the loose ball, another face-off win for Penn State. It's amazing what face-off wins can do for this offense.
They've scored 8 of the last 9 goals in this game in 6 straight, and they've dominated possession over the last few minutes.
His third quarter has been the complete opposite of what the first half was. This is Cole Willard in the second midfield unit on now for Penn State. Junior from Cazenovia, New York, working from X. Gets free, low to high rip is good. The Nittany Lions roaring back, they're within 1.
What a turn of events here in this third quarter. 7 straight. Cole Willard, the junior, comes out for Max. Shaves off 2 defenders.
Cornell 13, Penn State 12.
Number 2 versus number 5, the final game of this Crown Lacrosse Classic.
What a game it's been. I mean, game of runs, as you just talked about. 10 for Cornell, 7 in a row for Penn State.
Jake Glatz won the face-off, shot just wide, but a back up there for the Nittany Lions. And that has been the big story here in the third quarter. Glatz, Arceri really struggled at the face-off X for Penn State in the first half. That has been completely flipped here in the second half.
Yeah, and we saw 8 goals in the third quarter, 1 by Cornell at the beginning and then 7 straight by Penn State, but Penn State has scored 9 of the last 10, dating back to late in the second quarter.
Malone had a step there. Instead, sends it back out top. Jack Trainer. Now back around. Ament now triggering for the top of the box. Sidearm pass, and that one trickles in. Dylan Foulds has tied it up.
Who would have thought when it was 10-2 Cornell and they had ripped off 10 straight that we'd be looking at 13-13 just a minute into the fourth quarter, but we are. Penn State has scored 10 of the last 11 and 8 in a row. Let's take a look at this again. Ament going backwards, just a little flip.
To clear. Licciardi. Coyle, step down. Cornell takes the lead back. Second of the day for Billy Coyle.
Got a Cornell goal, striker number 11, Billy Coyle.
So Billy Coyle stops the bleeding here. You see him just gets a little bit of opening with that shorty on him. He got the space, got the lane. You see a bunch of guys ducking out of the way.
Ties a career high for Billy Coyle with 2 goals. Did that against High Point earlier this season as well, as Jake Glatz wins a faceoff again for the Nittany Lions. Couple in a row for Penn State to start this fourth quarter. And that has really changed everything in terms of the offensive opportunities and possession for Penn State.
19 minutes and 16 seconds without a goal for Cornell.
Bowler. Now Dylan Foulds walking in. Remember, Mac O'Keefe, just 3 points. Ament has been held scoreless, but does have 4 assists. Slings this one to O'Keefe, who lost it for a second.
Yeah, O'Keefe just completely missed that ball.
It is a tough sun angle this time of the evening. And as you can tell by some of the shadows, maybe some sun causing some issues. Either way, it's a turnover, and Cornell gets it back under 9 minutes to go here in the fourth. His second midfield unit seeing more action with Licciardi. Trying to get downhill, he does. Back out to Lombardi, Knizia with the stop.
That's a big save by Knizia.
But Licciardi took it right back, and he gets it along to Teat. Great hustle plays by the Big Red offense. Michael Long working his way around X, shot to score, it's Coyle again! The hat trick for Billy Coyle, a new career high.
They couldn't have come at a better time for Cornell. They're really reeling, looking for some offensive punch, and Billy Coyle comes in. Back-to-back goals in just under 2 minutes. Here's Long coming out from behind X. Finds a cutting Coyle. Great vision by Michael Long. The slide comes over late.
Michael Long now with his 4th assist of the game. He's up to 5 points. An impressive outing for him. His career high 7 against High Point. And he's showing you he can add another dynamic piece to this Big Red offense as Cornell is back up by 2. The Nittany Lions, though, something to watch is their continued advantage at the faceoff X. Jake Glatz has really stepped his game up here in the second half and has changed the dynamic of this game altogether. Ball moved along. Left hand finish for Foulds. Penn State gets one back.
Foulds and Coyle have been the goal scorers in this fourth quarter.
Goal. Score by number 14, Dylan Foulds. His second in the afternoon and unassisted.
We'll take a look at it again as Malone has it, sends it behind. Foulds comes out. Looked like he was going to shovel that backwards at the last second, squared up his body. See right here, it's like, no.
And I think it deked Erlin because I think he thought the backhand was coming, and Foulds had an extra half a second to get the left-hand turn and finish it traditionally. Foulds is second, now up to 10 goals on the season, and it's Petrakis who wins it for Cornell. All the way through, the freshman with an answer for the Big Red.
Why not? That's the only thing that we have not seen so far today is a Fogo goal. So we'll take this right from the X. Gets it cleanly, gets upfield, nobody slides. I'll take the shot, I'll go low, and get the goal. Adamant about it.
Penn State playing its third straight game against a top 10 opponent, looking to win its second. O'Keefe has it kicked away by Erlin. Rebound goes. Jack Kelly with his third. Right place, right time. Penn State back within one.
Jack Kelly has had himself a game.
Penn State goal scored by number 25, Jack Kelly. His third of the afternoon.
So Kelly.
Kelly unassisted at 4:44.
Mac O'Keefe gets it down to Kelly. Gets right in the teeth of that defense.
Penn State 15.
Jack Kelly just crashing the crease. Erlin kicks the first one out, and then Kelly able to finish.
I think that first one might even hit the post.
It might have. It came out.
It came out. It was screaming coming out. So I'm wondering if it hit the post with how fast it came out.
Galatz wins the faceoff again, but he's tangled up around midfield. Big loose ball. We've got a flag down as TJ Cannellin comes out of it. Here comes Cannellin. Long pull chance. We're all tied up.
TJ, so wave off. So wave off the penalty. Penn State gets the goal. We're all tied up. So take a look at this from the scrum. TJ Cannellin, the senior, all the way down, racing. Shows that he's going to shoot. He dares somebody to slide. Nobody comes over to slide to him. He was showing shot. He told them, I'm going to shoot, come get me. And nobody did.
Let's call him the Cazenovia Comet. TJ Cannellin racing in to get Penn State all knotted up at 16 apiece. And look who it is. It's Gerard Arceri for the first time in who knows how long, and he gets a violation on Cornell. So Penn State with the ball and a chance to take their first lead since it was 2-0.
For Arceri, that was his first faceoff since the first quarter, I believe.
Mind you, remember, he's the primary faceoff guy for this Penn State team. He has not taken a lot. He struggled a bunch in that first quarter as Jack Traynor goes to work through traffic. A big hit high. That draws a flag.
Plowed.
Yeah. Cornell really upset. Dom Doria doesn't like it. But we've got a man up coming for Penn State in this potent extra man unit.
It's a big call with under 4 minutes to go, but it's the right call.
Hell yeah, TJ. Hey, pursuit foul, red 48. 48 red. Legal body check. 1 minute. 48. 48 red. Legal body check.
Brandon Salvatore going to the box for a minute.
Hang on, I'll talk to you.
We get another look. Malone going through all sorts of traffic, and then
he was up high.
Up by the helmet.
Yep. Yeah. He was up around the neck area right there. That is always going to draw the flag.
Mac O'Keefe! The Nittany Lions have taken the lead. A hat trick for Mac O'Keefe, and Penn State has come all the way back.
They had a lead 2-0 5 minutes into the game, and then Cornell went on their run. And O'Keefe on the man up. Amen to O'Keefe. That worm burner.
We've got a good final 47 seconds in store as Cornell has the ball, down by 1. Coming out of the timeout, still lots of time on the shot clock with 73 seconds as Jeff Teat has put together a nice performance, 2 goals and 3 assists, but has been relatively quiet in this second half, as has most of the Cornell offense. Just 4 goals after halftime. Big Red looking to stay perfect, trying to get to 5-0 while Penn State is looking for its 2nd straight win over a top 10 opponent.
So let's see what they draw up here.
Piatelli triggers things in from the wing, and here is Jeff Teat. Draws the matchup with Brett Funk, the sophomore defenseman from New Jersey. Now a short stick switches on to Teat. Down to 30 seconds.
Gotta be ready, someone's gotta be ready to slide.
Teat has his man on an island. Trying to get the hand free, he does! Jeff Teat ties it! It's exactly what Cornell wanted.
Unbelievable. You mentioned it in the timeout. Do you give the ball to Jeff Teat? The answer is yes. It's always yes. You give the ball to Jeff Teat. He's got a shorty. Look, nobody's even trying to slide over. They're just leaving him one-on-one. That is hard for Brian Townsend to have to go one-on-one against Jeff Teat. And Teat ties it up.
Look, no offense to Brian Townsend. He's a great short stick defensive midfielder. But that's some disrespect that Teat's feeling as he goes one-on-one down the stretch and they're not bringing a pull.
Yeah, you got to bring a pull over. You got to double team him. You let anybody other than Jeff Teat beat you on that play.
So we're all knotted up with 18 seconds left. It's Jake Glatz who wins the clamp. Ball pushes forward. It's still loose. Cornell with the ground ball. Here come the Big Red. They got 10. Score! It's the face-off man, Petrakis. The Big Red have a lead with 8 seconds to go.
Are you kidding me? Angelo Petrakis, the face-off guy, is the one that ends up with it after all that and could potentially have the game winner. Oh my God, this game.
Both teams had chances for the ground ball. Cornell comes up with it and moves it forward. Here's a great ground ball by Doria to start it.
From the turnover, Doria finds Petrakis. You see that Cornell bench, they're getting excited. Petrakis already showed us he could score.
His 2nd of the game. 5 seconds to go. Glatz wins it. He's got to go in a hurry. It's out of bounds, and that will do it. Somehow, the Big Red from up 7 to down 2 to winners here at the Crown.
I don't even know what to say. That was an epic game. Talk about Penn State getting the first 2 goals, and then Cornell storming back, taking a huge lead. Penn State chipping away, comes back. They take the lead, back and forth. Teat ties it up with 18 seconds left when it looks like Penn State's gonna win. And then the face-off guy, Petrakis, gets the game winner. Unbelievable.
That is a game I would sign up for again in May. 2 top 5 teams going toe-to-toe here outside Charlotte, North Carolina. Jeff Teat scores the game tire going one-on-one for the Big Red with under 30 seconds to go, and then just absolute mayhem as the Big Reds face-off man. The freshman, Angelo Petrakis, is your hero. His second goal of the game is the best one.
All I got to say is I want to see both of these teams playing together in May in Philly.